Welcome to the Rochester, New Hampshire History Podcast, a monthly show that will shine a light on a piece of history that has been all but forgotten.
The Rochester Historical Society is proud to present a collection of postcards highlighting Rochester's remarkable history. Postcards were popular in the late 1800s to the mid-1900s and seemed like any scene could be made into a postcard, such as the cemetery on Franklin Street. Sometimes it was simply a salesman and his wagon, or the clubhouse of Rochester's first country club. Many postcards were made of our beautiful landmarks, such as the library, the old post office, City Hall, the Gaffney home, the beautiful Sumner Wallace mansion, which was located near the library, St. Charles Orphanage, Frisbee Hospital, the Feineman Brothers store, and the Masonic Building.
Even the public schools were put on postcards. Here is the old Rochester High School, Spalding High School, School Street School, before it was named the Nancy Loud School, it was simply known as the East Rochester Schoolhouse. Churches were also featured on postcards. This is Bridge Street, showing the Catholic Rectory, Church, and School. True Memorial Church, the Methodist Church in East Rochester, the Methodist Church located downtown. Many postcards were made of the Rochester Fair. Lighter than airships and airplanes were popular at the fair in the early 1900s. Back in the day, everyone dressed up when going to the fair. Women wore dresses, men wore hats and ties.
Many postcards featured the downtown. Here are three of the Rochester Common. All show the Civil War cannons that once ringed the Soldiers' Monument. These cannons were lost to history when they were taken in a World War II scrap metal drive. Here are a couple of cards of the Cocheco River. And here is the stone bridge that spans the river. Postcards featuring streets were popular. A horse and buggy on Charles Street. Look at all the trees that were on Wakefield Street. And here's South Main Street, and on the left one can see part of the Sumner Wallace mansion. The railroad was important to the growth of Rochester, and there are many postcards featuring trains. The next two pictures show the old railroad depot that was located on or around Windjammer's Restaurant. And this is a smaller depot located in East Rochester.
Of course, restaurants and hotels were depicted on postcards. This card advertises Fernald Hackett's restaurant from when traffic heading to New Hampshire's mountains and lakes drove through Rochester's central square. Here is a card showing the interior of Fernald Hackett's. City Hotel, located within walking distance of the train depot. The Hotel Hayes on Portland Street was also located near the train depot. Grey Tower Motor Inn on Rochester Hill. It was a popular destination for visitors looking to stay a few nights and locals looking for a delicious meal. Here are a couple of postcards from when shoemaking was the dominant industry in Rochester. This was a small sampling of Rochester postcards. However, it is a good representation of all the different ones that were made of our fair city.
This ends the podcast. If you have any questions or comments, please email bobgriffinpodcast@gmail.com and come back next month for another episode of Rochester, New Hampshire History.